Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry I'm a little late getting started here. And I'm still not sure if things are working as they should, but we will soldier forward as if they are working as they should. The equipment doesn't work, you know what I mean? So like I'm waiting on the equipment and it's like, oh shit, I'm just gonna roll a cigarette. So by the time I'm actually here, it's like, oh, you know, I've already started doing something else. But what I want to say, look, I've got a lot to say. You guys know that, and I haven't been around for a while. I don't know if it's stabilizing yet. It doesn't appear like my audio is stabilizing. Can you guys give me some feedback on my audio? Shogun is here, the Shogun. Wow, I like the way you did that. You know, that title there. Did any of you guys listen to that hour and a half podcast that I uploaded? It was an older podcast. I just wanted to put it up there because I hadn't been here for a while. Yeah, like a little long, right? For a video, that was nothing. I have these things going 6-8 hours. Of course, it's mostly bullshit, you know, but hey, you know, you got to do what you're good at, right? But seriously, the attack on male identity is real. You're not imagining it. I remember some of my first YouTube MGTOW videos. What was her name? This is a girl. She called herself like Terry or Terry O'Terry, something like that. Like she doubled up on her name. And it was like one of the first videos I'd ever seen where they weren't blaming men. You know what I mean? They were saying, no, this system, you know, it's unfair. There's something going on here, and it's unfair to men. And I was like, holy shit, I've been thinking that my whole life. Now, what's happening now is insane, okay? Especially with the upcoming American midterm elections. The attack on male identity has been going on for, shit, since the 60s, right? And now it is an attack on identity itself. Okay, now we as men, MGTOW, are concerned with the attack on male identity. Okay, but these chickens have come home to roost. Okay, the attack is on all identity. And I'm hoping that, you know, you listen to some of my videos, some of my live streams, which I'm going to be doing more of. You get where I'm coming from. Okay, this is a consumer society, all right? We don't want people with strong identities. We don't want people with strong personalities who stand out. And if we do get them, okay, we only want them as influencers. In other words, can they be bought? Can we get them to sell out and go corporate? And it's not even a conscious, intentional effort that the system makes to get these people to sell out and go corporate. It's simply that they want to be successful and in a consumer market. You know, in other words, red pill videos, okay, that teach men a little PUA and a little pickup, they do really well, right? They're going to get promoted. But honest, philosophical, hardcore, lifestyle, warrior aesthetic, primal MGTOW videos, no, they are not part of, you know, our consumer cultural narrative. They are going a little bit too far, okay? But I assure you, they are not going anywhere near far enough. You're going to need to go a lot further, okay? You've come to a fight. You've come to a gunfight with a knife, okay? You are being attacked as men, we as men, for our masculine virtue itself. That's it. Okay? Now, what's the motivation? Is it envy? Is it resentment? Sure. It's all those things. Sorry, people. I'm outdoors. I got other stuff going on. Wow, awesome perception. Thank you, bro. This goes Lachan. I probably butchered that last part. Awesome perception, Mr. Dare. Our society is absolutely all about consumption, while us free productive men are held at gunpoint to continue producing. Exactly. Okay. You've just made, you know, pretty much the point that I'm trying to make here. And you did it very well. Here, let's put that up. Right? You guys got to give me a little time, you know, to get back on my feet and used to doing things. You know, I'm still dealing with the state. They're trying to put me away for the rest of my life, criminal, and it's a big deal. And I got a lot of things hanging over my head. But MGTOW is important to me. You know what I mean? So this is where I am. I've had a lot of talk with men in jails and prison, the men who are truly feeling the brunt, you know, in a lot of instances, the brunt of what's going on here. And it's brutal, okay? It's primal. It's insect politics. And we, as men, are far too noble and far too virtuous and far too compassionate to win this particular fight. I'm sorry. You know, he was a good boy. You know, he was a good kid. He didn't want to hurt anybody, but you gotta grow out of it. You know, you're in a harsh, unfair world where people are cheating and they're lying and they're destroying reputations. This is what they do. So what I kind of want you to wrap your head around is that in this consumer-based society, this is a group herd mentality, okay? You are targeted for being an individual, for expressing your own viewpoints, for not going along with the herd. In other words, I've got a classroom of 30 people and I'm going to give a lecture, and I don't want one single question. And if there is, and it's a thoughtful, intelligent question, it's the teacher is going to meet it with shame and derision, and you're holding up the class, because we don't want smart, capable people with strong identities. We want workers who do as they're told, and who follow orders, and who don't cause trouble, and who vote the way they're supposed to vote, and who say the things they're supposed to say because they want to be successful. So this is the price that you have to pay, all right? You either have to go along with the group, or you have to get kicked out of the group. And it's the same choice you've always had. And it's not even like, look, it's bad, okay? I'm not going to bullshit you. Things are getting really bad. But it's always been the same choice, okay? Your choice has always been to live inside of the castle walls and be safe and get taken care of and not have to worry, or go your own way. Leave the castle walls, go out there, be your own man. There's a strong possibility you're not going to make it. There's a strong possibility you're going to die out there. And if you go out there too early and you're unprepared with the wrong tools, you're going to die out there. Okay? It's always been this way. It's just this modern consumer society that has coddled us and provided for our needs at a cost that's made us think that it's not supposed to be this way. You are in the fight for your life. I am in the fight for my life. Depending on how well you do in this fight will determine largely the quality of your life. And it's an unfair, rigged, bullshit, cheating game against you because you are the better player. Okay? No, we cannot raise the women up to your level as a man. We can't do it. It's not possible. We can drag you down, and we can shame you, and we can resent you. And we don't need this strong man. Okay? They got to shut it down. Whether it would be in a corporate situation, whether in a team situation, whether in a corporate project management situation, whether in a political situation, you have to be part of the group or the group turns against you. And when you buy into the group, you have to buy into all of it. So it's been under attack. It's been under attack for hundreds of years because we need workers, okay? We need people to stand in the assembly line. And the deal is, if you'll do it, okay, we'll give you enough to live. That's it, okay? In the old days, it used to be, and to have a family. But no, that option is gone, okay? So this is really, if you ever read 1950s, The Corporate Man, it talks about how to be the corporate man. And it's good, it tells you, right? And it worked. Like, you could build yourself a pretty good life if you just did what the company wanted you to do. You didn't have to think very much. You didn't have to plan out your own future. The man just went to the job, did as he was told, didn't think about it too much, and then came home and relaxed and watched TV and spent his money and enjoyed his time with his family. That deal is gone, okay? It's gone. The deal now is you will give up your identity, you will do as you're told, you will never go against the group, and you will get enough to get by until tomorrow, or the next day, or the next week, or the next month. And if you're really good, maybe for the next year, maybe they'll pay you that much. And you won't have to think, and you won't have to take chances, and you won't have to go into business ventures. You won't have to do any of that. You'll just have to work for the company. That's all you have to do. But there's a problem, because the deal is not really the deal anymore. Here's the problem. If you can do that job, okay, if they will pay you to do that job, guess what? They've got a million other people. You are replaceable. You are disposable, because you are not an individual. And I'm not saying you are not an individual. I'm saying that the deal that the system is offering you is for you to give up your individual identity, to be part of the group, to go along with the group. And in exchange for that, they'll give you a little money. That's it. You won't even get to have pride in your work because of the, the degree to which you have to cowtail. Let me get back to the chat here. Society put real men down. That's exactly right, Luke. That's exactly what they do, okay? Think about it. If you were building a strong corporation, okay, and you got it, and you made it, or company, right? And you had some people in that company, and they were upsetting the apple cart. They were asking too many questions. They were suggesting too many things, too many changes. What might you do? Well, if you were a cautious, careful, scared person, you would shut them down. Now, if you were a confident, competitive, outgoing, chance-taking personality like men used to be, shit, those are your top salesmen. Those are your top people. Those are the people to start up your new branch offices. The deal has changed, okay? The deal that was offered to your mother and father is not offered to you. You cannot work a job and give up your identity and get a good life out of it. What you will get out of that is what we've got right now. Our young people wanting to biologically, medically mutilate themselves just to be part of a group that they think they can have a meaningful identity in. You've got to become primal. You've got to get back to your roots. You've got to get back to your nature. You've got to rediscover what makes you a man. And it doesn't have a damn thing to do with how much you get paid, or how pretty the girl is, or who kisses your ass. Although, guess what? If you can do this, you will get all those other things. I like the commercial, right? The NBA commercial, the NBA, Allen Iverson, right? It's like a good jump shot will get you millions of dollars, get you big fancy houses, big fancy cars, all kinds of friends, travel the world. But all of those things won't get you a good jump shot, okay? You need a good jump shot. Nothing else matters. And really, nothing else matters. Money can't. The only thing that matters is how you feel about yourself as a man. Okay? You could be 7 feet tall, 300 pounds of muscle. And if you feel like a slave, then you're acting like a slave and you're living the life of a slave. You could be a woman. And if you've got the spirit and the attitude and the heart of a lion, then you're a lion. And that's what they take away. That's what they break. That's what they want to see if you'll give it up. And it's a constant game, all right? Everybody around you, all your friends, the minute you try to take a stand on principle, they will cut you down, man. They will test you. The world will test you. And how will you come out? Hey, I can't resist good candy. Man, you put a bag of candy in front of me, and I know that sugar is toxic and poison. It is, okay? You want to be a weak man? Go ahead, eat a lot of sugar. You want to get diabetes and obesity? Go ahead. Consume the food that they want you to consume. Understand, this attack, it's psychological, it's social, it's emotional, it's physical, it's financial, it's economic, it's gender. It's going after the children. You know that. MGTOW, you know that. I'm not telling you stuff that I'm just saying it in a different way, right? But you know this stuff. And most men, I knew this stuff when I was a child. I could tell that there was a corruption in the system and that most people, most of the teachers and middle managers, these were not good people. I'm not saying they were not dependable. You know what I mean? At their core, there was no substance there. They were follow the orders, do as they're told. They're just doing their job. And they'll say that and do anything that they want to do. Sorry, I gotta relight the cigarette, right? Yeah, so I'm outdoors. That's why I've got the echo. And sometimes I have people coming around, you know? And they're like, hey man, can you spare a cigarette? And I'm like, can't you see I'm busy? And they're like, yeah, F you, man. Right? It's a child's entitlement, you know? People feel entitled. And then when you try to bring them back to reality, they act like you're picking on them and that, you're being unfair to them. I mean, isn't that the definition of our social justice warriors, right? Isn't this, our definition? Look, I am not political. MGTOW is not political. Any man comes to MGTOW, okay? It's not political. But right now, the left is going crazy. And this is a feminist, gynocentric left. Now, I'm not saying that the right would be any better. They would just mess with it the same way, but in a different way. But we've got to put a damper on this. You know what I mean? For the sake of the children, straight up, So gender, wait a minute. You understand that it's a consumer, worker, assembly line society. That's what they want. That's how you get ahead. That's how you will get your job and get that money, that'll protect you for a month or a year. And then you could potentially build a family. Okay, but you can't. These offerings, these blessings, they weaken us. Okay, they take something away from us. I love technology. I love innovation. But it doesn't need to be applied to how we raise our children, okay, or how we have our gender relations. Of course, it is. And of course, this is, I don't know if it's not necessarily by design, but by intention. And this is how systems work. There's a theory known as the tragedy of the commons. And systems grow and they become more bureaucratic. And the bureaucracy becomes toxic. And the purpose for which the systems were initially created becomes replaced by the toxic bureaucracy. Okay? And the intent and the purpose of the system now becomes just this self-sustaining cancerous growth. It's no longer true to what it originally was. But it's feeding millions of people. It's employing hundreds of millions of people, billions of people around the world. Okay? You can't shut it down. And you're milking the cattle, okay? Human cattle. You're making money off of them. And this industrial complex, military industrial complex, no, it's a pharmaceutical, it's a food, pharmaceutical, medical, social institution industrial complex. And it doesn't want strong individuals, and it needs you to not have any sort of individual identity. And the people, this is the key part. I'm getting to something here, people. Trust me. The people when we buy into this, okay, because we all buy into it to a degree, right? Like, I want a new PlayStation. I don't want a new PlayStation. I'll take it though. When we buy into that, okay, we say to ourselves, well, I'm just going to take this shit job in lieu of my dream situation to get by day to day. And when the boss tells a crappy joke, I'm going to laugh and I'm going to giggle, because that way the boss will like me. And when the boss has an opinion, a political opinion or religious opinion, I'm going to pretty much go along with that, because I need to get this money to get by day to day. Okay, so we're all making these compromises, these biological necessary compromises. Okay, that one is not necessarily a necessary compromise. And when we do, okay, when we make these compromises, and we do, we feel shame, we feel guilt. It's internal, okay? We actually become ashamed of our own identity. Now, you know this, you feel this. Every time you went with an ugly woman, and you were like, yeah, but I just want to, fulfill my urges. And you were like, yeah, but I don't really like her. You knew, you know what I mean? You were not being true to yourself. And the result was a little bit of guilt and a little bit of shame. Now, imagine doing that every day of your life, in every possible way, at every possible issue, on every possible thing. In other words, you have no identity. When they say, wow, tobacco-flavored ice cream is the best, you say, yes, tobacco-flavored ice cream is the best. When they say, oh, this is my favorite song, and it's horrible to you, you say, yeah, this is a great song. When they say, I want to go see the new Harry Potter movie, you say, not only do I want to go see it, I want to dress up as one of the main characters. Now, if you've done that your whole life, just to get ice cream, just to get into the movie, just to hang out with the pretty girl, just to get the looks and the attention of the male population, okay? If you've done that your whole life, if you've sold out every aspect of your personality and your identity for getting things, which consumer society offers in abundance, you feel guilt and shame. And I don't mean you, I just mean people in general. And if that guilt and shame becomes enough and becomes internalized enough, guess what? You develop self-loathing. You develop utter contempt for yourself, because deep down, you know that you're a hypocrite. And we're all, to a degree, you know what I mean? We all kind of do this. Now, let's take that person, let's take people like that who have sold out their identity, have gone along with the group, who have compromised their personal values every single time that they had to in their life in order to gain an advantage. Let's take those people and let's make them teachers. Let's make them journalists. Let's make them lawyers. Let's make them doctors. Let's make them politicians. What do you think their political dream is? Besides taking care of everybody and creating a utopia where nobody wants or suffers for anything. Because, of course, that's what they wanted as a consumer, and that's what they sold their soul and their identity to. Just wanting things. So that's what they want to create. A utopia where nobody wants for anything, and everybody is treated fairly, and everybody is a superstar like LeBron James, even though they have no achievement or accomplishment on their own. What happens when you put those people in charge? What do they do? How do they lead? Well, they lead us exactly how we're being led right now. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, diversity. Right? Look, I got no problem with diversity. I'm not some sort of hidden racist or anything like that. I don't care, too much about something like that. A person can't control that. But what's really being expressed is a childlike pathology that is not fit for life. It's not. It's just that child that wants to be taken care of and wants to get ice cream and wants to have stuff and will pitch a fit if it doesn't get what it wants. It does what you tell it to do, and now it wants what it wants. But of course, how could such a creature be happy? How could it find any fulfillment or any joy or any accomplishment? Yeah, hey, you want a PhD? We can print out the paper. We can make it look official, sign it, get somebody important to sign it and give it to you. Right? This is the Wizard of Oz, right? Scarecrow wants a brain. It's like, what do these men have that you don't have? A diploma. A trinket. So we'll get you, a whole box full of them. But will they make a difference in who you are and how you feel about yourself? You've got the diplomas. Shit, let's even give you the job. You know what I mean? And I don't mean you. Let's give the man the job for which he is not qualified, for which we printed out the fake diplomas. Okay? Is he happy now? Is he like, world's top brain surgeon? No, he's not. He's a fake, and he knows it. But he wants that pay, and he wants that money, and he wants that authority, and he wants that power, and he wants that position. And he does what he's told. And he steps on anybody who tries to step out of line. So that's what we're dealing with. That's what you're dealing with. And it's even worse than that, because all of these ideas, they're internalized. So if we as men don't fulfill what we think society wants of us, for the conscientious, for the thoughtful, it is internal turmoil and struggle, and that's painful, man. That's where it's all at, This battle is actually taking place inside of you, right? One sec. That's where the struggle is. That's where the pain is. You take care of that. You start getting that right, and the outside world will fall into place. In other words, a good jump shot will get you everything you want in life, but everything you want in life will not get you the good jump shot. Okay. And you understand the pathology of these currently leftist people, although it could just as well be conservative right-wing people, that their own lack of identity, their own hypocrisy in selling out to a consumer society, their own conformity enforcement on those around them to being part of the system, because that's the game, has bankrupted their soul, has bankrupted their identity, okay? There's nothing in their life that's worth having, nothing worth struggling for, nothing worth fighting for. They want it, and they'll demand it, and they'll pitch a fit about it. But will they really fight for it? In other words, no. The answer is no. We're not going to give it to you, okay? That's the answer. Whatever it is you want, no. Will you still go out and get it? I hope so. I hope so. Because that's the kind of character you're going to really need, unless you want to live inside of those castle walls and be taken care of, okay? Now, this attack on male identity is now extended to anybody and everybody who is an individual. Okay, so it's now coming for the women. Now, here's an irony for you. What do you guys think? Here, I'm going to go to the comment sections. That's all I'm going to say. I could just keep talking forever. I do that shit. What do you guys think of all the young women, mostly middle-class white American girls, wanting to have sex change operations and become men? Interesting, isn't it? Because they claim to hate men. Interesting, isn't it? And, you've also got your middle-aged white man male suicide rate just skyrocketing. Interesting. What I'm suggesting is, of course, that this society cultural movement that we've been engaged in for the last 50 years, which is basically a consumer, female, gynocentric attack on identity. One sec. Well, I forgot my point. The system creates this pathology of these people who want to do good for the group, but they're really trying to do good for themselves, and they will destroy all individuality. And now it is extending to women, and now it is extending to children, because children are, this pure expression of, selfhood, of identity. So now it's being tarred and marred with identity politics. And understand the identity politics permeate our entire society. Like, you can't even go talk to somebody without this stuff coming to bear. So this is just a part of it. Okay, like, I can never cover what's going on here. Now, what do we do about it as men? Because if you buy into it, you can get a good job, you can get some stuff, you might even be able to build yourself a family and things like that, but it can all be pulled out from under you. Remember, a government strong enough to give you everything you want in life is strong enough to take everything you want in life away from you. That's Thomas Jefferson, who also said if he had to choose between voting and a free press, he would choose a free press. Now, understand that the newspapers back then were utterly scandalous. They would print, like there was no libel or anything like that. They would just print anything. And duels were fought over, what was printed in those papers. Hence, the demise of Alexander Hamilton, whose son also was lost in a duel shortly before his own duel, right? Right, but they made that big play about him recently, right? I never saw it. I kind of get that what they were trying to say was that Hamilton was black or from the Caribbean or something. Like, I don't really understand it, but this attack, see, this attack goes back in time, okay? It attacks history. It attacks the people that you look up to who are, this is the inversion of societal values that happens when you empower a class of people that would not really get by unless you empower them. Okay, this is the camel sticking its nose in the tent, and then its head, and then its neck, and then its shoulders, and then its midsection, and then the camel's in the tent, and then you're out of the tent. Okay, so it's the string that unravels everything. And I kind of want you to understand that this pathology of the consumer mindset, that's what it wants. It knows that it compromised itself and sold out its identity. And it knows that it's shame and that the price of sin is death. It knows that. And you know that too. And I'm not being religious here. I'm saying if you do the wrong messed up things, you're going to pay the price, okay? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. All right. What's up? A shot of whiskey is here, ladies and gentlemen. And the camel screams, hump day. Exactly, right? My dog would want to lay on the edge of my bed. Then he would stretch out a little bit. Before the night was over, the dog had kicked me out of the bed. Hey, Free Cat is here. Thanks for stopping by, Free Cat. They think they own everything. It's no good to them. Radioactive. Exactly. All of this, all of the treasure of the modern world that all of our innovation and technology and male tool building has provided, this is a giant nest, okay? We've built a giant nest. Okay, and you've got male birds acting like they're female birds because they want to hang out with the females and shit. But the nest is getting fouled. The nest is getting messed up. Go your own way, build your own nest, find your own identity as a man. This is going to involve overcoming your own weaknesses, whatever they are. You could be pressing military press 300 pounds, okay? And guess what? The goal is now for you to press 315. I know, it's a rough deal, man. You can make $10 million, and the goal now is for you to make 11 million. That's all there is, okay? If you can fill the unforgiving mile with distance run, the world and everything in it is yours. And what's more, you'll be a man, my son. That's the great line from the Kipling poem, If. Yeah, great truths are expressed in, the great poetry, the great literature, the great philosophy. Most of this stuff that I'm talking about, like guys are thinking, oh, MGTOW. And it is, it's MGTOW, but no, it's also objectivistic philosophy from Ayn Rand. It's Nietzsche's, it's a part of the whole Nietzschean philosophy of creating the Übermensch, where the man, God is dead, okay, and we killed him, and we'll never wash the blood from our hands. And this is the curse of your modern technological science-based society. The truth will set you free. Well, the truth is we don't have any sort of physical manifestation, of this fundamental tenet of our belief system. So it's dead. It's gone. It's gone. What do you fill it with? Okay? This is ethics. Now, your ethics have to be based on your epistemology, and your epistemology has to confirm your metaphysics. And if it doesn't, then you're a kid, you're a consumer. You know what I mean? It's not that bad. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it that harshly. What I'm saying is that the basic consumer mindset, they're not doing what's right because it's right. They're doing what's right because they think it'll get them stuff. Okay? And that's a compromise. Okay? And that leads to this pathology of, I want to create a utopian world where I'm the mother or the father. You're all going to be taken care of and we're all going to be happy. But of course, that doesn't work, because even if you can press 300 pounds, you better be able now to press 315. And as a man, you kind of understand that. Testosterone is the hormone of making effort feel good. So the part where most people are like, oh, fuck, I want to quit, man, this is too much. No. You are supposed to, at that time, feel like I'm just getting started. The fight has only just begun, and I revel in it. I delight in it. This is what I was trying to explain this so long ago to, like the differences between men and women concerning ambition, and how you've got some women who can do it. You really do. They can pass the physical requirements of a soldier. They can be a corporate CEO. They can be a corporate lawyer way up there. They can do it. Okay, but they usually will lose their ability to reproduce as a result. And I don't think, and they usually want to quit by their mid-30s, because there's more to life for them. But the men delight in it. You know what I mean? Like a certain type of man. No, he loves this stuff. So it's like, there was a time when, like, I looked at physical confrontation and fighting. It's like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, somebody might get hurt. No. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, you want to throw down? Really? Okay. I can use a full contact sparring partner. I've got a few things I want to try out. Right? But notice that that's a very rational, calm, thought out approach. Imagine if I'm coming up against somebody who's just mad, crazy, out of their mind, angry, and emotional. Right? They're not feeling it that way. So these differences, okay, are biological. They're objective. They're real. This has more to do with philosophy now. The ideas that we have, the constructs that we come up with, they're based on objective reality and the physical world, and they're based on fundamental concept formation, and there can be no inconsistencies. This is why when you hear, the discrepancies in someone's argument, you just can't ignore it. The human mind can brook no conceptual mess up. It just can't. It won't. It'll go crazy if it does. It's not how we're made. You would not be able to survive, you know what I mean, if your mind wasn't able to form concepts and ideas, and that they were, in fact, valid ideas based on reality, based on objective reality. In other words, I'm not just making up the word tree. Now, we could have called it anything, all right? But it's not just a made-up word. It's a representation of a physical reality, okay? So these words and ideas, they're tied to real, objective reality concepts, okay? They're not subjective. They're not made up on the fly. They're not whims. They're not how we feel, okay? They're theories of physical reality. And if you're wrong, then your rocket will explode and your car will crash. And your bike will crash, and the brakes won't work, and the plane won't fly, and your health will not improve. You know, we are genetically modified human beings. We are no longer what we were. Here, let me tell you a story, okay? Oh, incidentally, I'm trying to build up here, okay? I need some MGTOW support, okay? Help out Howard Dare MGTOW channel. Click on my Cash App link, make a donation, whatever you can. I'm in a situation where I don't even know if I'm going to be able to continue, you know, and I want to. Anyway, click on the PayPal, no, not PayPal. Click on the Cash App donation link, help out the Howard Dare channel so that I can continue to make content and talk about these things. Where was I? Yeah, I was talking about something. Right back to the chat section. It'll come back to me. Free Cat says Stoicism is only conservative for the MF that has to deal with you. Exactly, right? Hey, I got no problem dealing with your Stoicism, brother. Okay? I don't blame you. What's the saying? Be who you are and speak your mind. For those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Okay? Like, I'm not threatened by anybody's stuff or their ideas. Let's see what a shot of whiskey has to say. The pro-COVID control lefties are crashing now. One of them is begging for amnesty from the rest of us. Yeah, they're crashing. Exactly. The path at the end of this pathology of I'm part of the group and I just want to be taken care of and we're just going to take care of everybody and we're all just going to get along, it leads to self-destruction because there's no individual identity and value in the life. And I'm saying that you as a man have to develop that for yourself as the Ubermensch, where you create your own values, because the values of society are corrupt and self-serving and destructive. Now, the story. Okay, so a man, he loves orchids, the flowers, right? Beautiful flowers. But he likes a particular color, a particular shade of purple pink, okay? So he breeds them and he crosses them and he gets the color that he wants. And he wants the stem to be longer on the flower because it would be more beautiful that way. So he crosses it again with additional plant species. And he goes through the generations until finally he gets it the way he wants. And then he clones it. Right? I mean, he can try to breed it back to, you know, its own self, but that won't necessarily go true. So now you have this beautiful orchid, okay? Long, beautiful colors, amazing. But it's man-made. It's invented. It's not part of nature. Nature didn't create that, all right? Now, the apple, okay? The apple is a small, bitter fruit, okay? It's not tasty at all, and it's pretty small. But modern-day apples are big and red and juicy and flavorful. We made those apples. Okay? All of the processed food you eat is taken from wheat, grain, from the seed of grass. And we grind it down and we process it. And we make it into the paste that feeds billions of people. And we make billions of dollars selling it. Not we, not you, not me, but the industry does. And it's poison. You can have a little bit. If you were starving, You could eat it and it will get you by. But there is no hunter-gatherer tribe in this world that seeks out grass and leaves unless they are starving. And none of these fruits and vegetables, which we claim are the ideal human diet, none of them were around 10,000 years ago. We created them. Go on outside, pick the plants, go ahead, pick 100 plants and eat them, and 99 of them will be utterly toxic to you. To all humans. So what's the deal? Why do they want you to eat that plant-based diet? Because it'll make you weak. It'll make you sarcopenic. I just made up that word. It'll waste away the muscles, okay? We turn into frail, old, brittle, broken people because we do not get the nutrients in the food that we need, which is not leaves and it's not stems. No, it's meat. It's animal meat. And then if you want to go back 10,000 years ago and figure out why the hell we became so smart, you can go to the Ice Age. How many plants were growing then? 0. And yet we made it through. How did we make it through? We made it through with meat. And then what happened? Actually, let's go back even a little further, okay? What happened? Now let me see if I got this right. Our small intestine became larger, and our large intestine became smaller. And that was so that we could process this mineral, nutrient-rich food in the small intestine. And the long intestine, which we would be needing to digest things like grass and seeds and vegetables and roots, it became shorter. And what happened then? And then the human brain became what it was. This is one theory, and it's a good theory, and it's a valid theory. So, you want to have some French fries? They're delicious. You better put a lot of salt on them. You better cook them in a bunch of oil. And when I say oil, I mean seed oil from vegetables. And your body can't process it. But that's okay, because it's really tasty and it's really cheap, and they will make a fortune selling it to you. And then they'll make a fortune selling you all the things you need in life to make your life happy because you don't have the strength or the identity anymore. And then they'll make a fortune off of you medically. And then you'll die. And you won't have ever been true to yourself. You will always have sold out and compromised. Is that a human life? Is that your life? I don't think so. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for myself. I want more. I want better. You know, honestly, if I was given a choice at birth between being born into, millions of dollars of money and no challenges in life and just having an easy life, or being born into, difficulty and hardship and having to earn my things in life, I would choose the hardship, And isn't that the poem? Right? 2 paths. And I chose the harder one, and it made all the difference. Well, most of us are choosing the easier one. And it's making all the difference. And you, as a man, are faced with this challenge every day, in every TV show you watch, in every conversation you have, whenever anybody expresses their opinion, whatever music happens to be playing in the background. Struggle is internal and it's constant. And it's a battle. And it's a battle for your soul. It's a battle for your life. And the thing is that men largely define themselves through women and through how they are accepted in society, in culture, in the group. When I was a little boy, I wanted to be a fireman because I wanted to save people's lives and I wanted them to be grateful. You know what I mean? I wanted them to say, wow, you're a great man. I wanted to be a doctor and save people's lives. I wanted to be a big businessman. And I didn't even really care what the business was. I just wanted to employ tens of thousands of people. This was a little bit of a misguided dream of my youth. Now I know that that business has to be real. You know what I mean? And that I have to care about it passionately, and that it is, in fact, the expression of my passion, and that that's the business that I want. You know, and this goes back to the idea of the, you know, tragedy of the commons, where the system becomes so vast and so good at what it does, and the rules become so convoluted to keep it working, that it becomes, you know, the rules become an entity unto themselves. And now you have, you know, a world run by lawyers because everybody wants advantage. Sophistry, not philosophy, sophistry. How many angels can fit on the head of a pin? If a tree falls in a forest and hits you in the head, did it make a sound? As if these things matter to objective reality. Now, can you consider them as, you know, philosophical points? Yeah, sure, whatever, go ahead. But do not detach philosophy, concept, from objective reality. Don't do it. That's not what it is. It's not a tool of fantasy and imagination and play. It's an internal representation of the world so that you can figure it, theorize, try things, check the results, and get the results that you want in the physical world. Okay, you are here in the physical world. Take advantage of it. Make the most of it. Take your gifts that nature has bestowed you with. Maybe you're tall, maybe you're strong, maybe you're fast. I don't know. And put them to work and use them. As a matter of fact, make them come up short. You know what I mean? Push yourself to 300 pounds and then say, I want 315. That is where you will find identity and accomplishment and achievement. That is where you will find meaning and purpose and strength. That is where you will stand on your own from the crowd. And I will be proud to know you and to be your friend, because I know that you are a man who stands on his own. And I feel that way about all of you. And I know that you have that in you. And I know that it was only the fucking difficulties and the compromises that you had to make to get by that compromised that at all. I know that most men would rather die than compromise their honor. And yet, I also know that in a consumer society, most men would sell their souls for an ice cream cone, for a new PlayStation, for a raise, for the pretty girl. Now, if you get these things, will you then be happy? Will you then be like, yeah, I got it? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think I would. I think I would know that yeah, hey, you know, check it out. When I was like in my 30s, okay, I started up a business and it made a lot of money. And I had a lot of money, many thousands of dollars a week. And I enjoyed it, but mostly I was just foolish. You know, I bought a lot of magazines. But after about 6 months, I said, no, I don't want this. The money is great, but I'm not going to spend every day of my life essentially cheating people, running a bad business, making a lot of money. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that to myself. I will get up in the morning and I will work hard all day long and I will earn what I earn, and it will be enough. It might not be as much, but it will be plenty, and I will not be ashamed. And I made that decision, and I shut that business down, and I'm ashamed that I did it. So no, we don't sell our souls, do we? Did you ever have one time when I was younger, a friend of mine got married, and we were young. We were like 17, 19, and she was cool. And we would hang out over at his house on football night and drink beers and smoke and watch the game. Good times. And I was walking with my other friend, the married friend's best friend. And I said to him, what would you do if his wife hit on you, made a pass at you? And my friend thought about it for a moment and said, I would turn it down. And I said, why? And he said, because I respect my friend too much, I value my friend too much to let just getting together with a woman destroy that. And I thought to myself, good answer. I'll take it. And I thought, that's how I feel too. Right? Now, I had another occasion where a friend of mine had a girlfriend, okay? But he had just gotten a girlfriend that night, okay? And before the night was over, she decided that she didn't actually want to be his girlfriend for the night, that she wanted to be my girlfriend for the night. And I did that. And, you know, he was a friend of mine and he was a good guy. And I you know, I wasn't like messing him over or anything like that. I didn't feel good about it. But, yeah, in that case, I did that. Like I said, I didn't really feel bad about it or any sort of shame or anything like that. What about the whole basic divide and conquer thing? Like, here you go, aspiring MGTOW. You want to know how to get what you want from people, just figure out what they want, you know, and withhold it from them. But let's say you want to get together with a woman. See, this is terrible. MGTOW should not give advice on how to get together with women, right? This is like Alcoholics Anonymous giving advice on how to get alcohol. Not really, though. Yeah, divide and conquer. You know what I mean? Just get on the phone with her and just say, yeah, you know, your best friend who you think has your back, yeah, she was talking shit about you. She don't really like you. She don't really respect you. Yeah, your parents aren't letting you be you, man. They're not letting you be true to yourself and live your life. Oh, man, that's messed up. Your parents actually did that? Man, that isn't right. I would never do that. Man, you should come live with me. Boom. Okay? So you divide and you conquer. Interesting, you know, that's exactly what's been done to all of us, right? We've all been divided from all of each other through identity politics, haven't we? Right? It's like, no, he's not my brother. He's, you know, different ethnicity or something. And it's like, oh, come on, man. It's a man. But we've been divided, you know, and now we're alone. And now we are picked off one by one. And we don't build good lives for ourselves, and we don't have good social interactions. We're isolated, lone men whose gifts and values and what we have to contribute is not appreciated, not valued. We are disposable. We are replaceable. Understand, the system wanted you to be replaceable. That was part of the deal. And now you are. So even the job where you keep your head down and laugh at the boss's jokes, it won't really get you through. And even the new PlayStation or the new Nikes or the new TV or the new car, it won't. It won't fill your soul. It won't give you accomplishment. It won't give you pride and identity. And you're always being offered every little thing to take you away from it. And you're always being offered everything to make you feel the beat, feel the music. Isn't that a sad movie? Isn't that an exciting movie? What the hell does that have to do with you and your life? What the hell does that have to do with you making money? What the hell does that have to do with you building a house? What the hell does that have to do with you building a business? What the hell does that have to do with you building a social network of friends and men that you can rely upon? It's a nice song. It makes you forget. It distracts you. It takes you away. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of it. That's fine. And if you enjoy this type of music, that's fine too. But not your whole identity, not your whole life, not the meaning and purpose of your life. You know, hey, new Modern Warfare game is out, man. It's great, right? Okay, but you haven't been spending 20 hours a day on it, have you? Some of you have, I know. It's cool. But you know what I'm saying, right? It's like, no. You want to be strong. You want to be healthy. You want to be fit. You want to be your own man. So that's all I'm trying to say. Buckaroo Banzai is here, ladies and gentlemen. That was one of my favorite movies. It had Peter Weller in it. I really like that movie. It says, and it's hard to really know because the rules for nutrition keep changing. Yeah, well, that's the whole thing, buckaroo, or bonsai. Our ancestral diet, okay, the diet that we evolved with, was in fact animal. It had to be. There were no plants during the Ice Age. 99% of all plants are poisonous to us. You can eat them if you're starving and dying. They'll get you through. But no, that is not your maximum nutrition. Your maximum nutrition is heart and liver, and then and then meat and the gristle, the bone that goes along with it. You need that. That's your collagen. That's your health. That's your strength. That's your vitality. Well, here, I'll just say this and I'll leave it at that. The zoo animals, the lions, okay, the male lions don't want to reproduce. They don't want to have sex. But then you start giving them organ meat and boom, they start wanting to have sex again. The couple can't conceive. They just can't, get pregnant. The man starts eating an animal-based diet. Couple months, 6 weeks, not even. Boom, she's pregnant. This is your ancestral diet. This is not processed food. This is not the food, pharmaceutical, medical, industrial complex milking you as cattle while you're being milked as a tax cattle as well. This system, okay, our economic system is not set up for the worker. It's set up for the business owner. Okay, you're to take your profits and you're to say that you're reinvesting them in your company so that you can employ more people and they won't tax you. Okay, and what you're actually doing is you're buying yourself a new car and you're buying yourself a new wardrobe and you're buying yourself a new house, but you're putting it in the company name and we're not taxing it. Okay, but your workers, they're getting taxed for their gas. They're getting taxed for their clothes. They're getting taxed for their food. They're getting taxed for the roads that they drive on. They're getting taxed for the schools in their area. They're getting taxed for the food and the foreign aid that we give to other countries. You're a business owner. All of your money goes back into your business. And it just so happens that your business is your life and your passion. So it's built for that person to employ people and to create industry. It is, can you get by as a worker on that level? Yes, you can, or at least you could. But now the price is so great. Are you really going to compromise your health? Are you really going to do what Bill Gates says? Bill Gates says you're not allowed to eat meat. You really going to do it? You'll become frail. You'll become brittle. You'll become old before your time. You won't have vitality. Going to do it? It's what the group is doing. We're all eating soy. They're all soy-based products. And these chemicals, all right, these chemicals, phytoestrogens, various plant chemicals. Here, the plants cause inflammation in your gut, but it's subtle and you don't feel it usually for about 3 or 4 days, and it builds up. And the people just want to eat, and they just want to feel good, and they just want things that are tasty, and they can't connect what they're eating to how they're feeling the next day. Don't do that, okay? You're a man. Know that what you do today affects what happens tomorrow, okay? Be able to take a step today where there is no reward tomorrow, but there is a reward the next day. Okay? I'm telling you, plan out for step number 3. That's step number 1. Do not look for the advantage of step number 2. Forgo the advantage of step number 2. Forgo the tasty food, the French fries, and have the hamburger. And steps 2 and 3 will improve. So I also want to offer that. Back to the chat section. I lost 18 pounds in 6 months only by cutting my quantity of food by half. Yeah, absolutely. Calorie restriction works, okay? It gets us to lose weight. We do need to be at that calorie deficit Don't worry. You can, believe me, you could eat 3,000 calories a day and still be at a calorie deficit. But it has to be real food. It has to be meat. It has to be protein. It has to be fat. It has to be the essential fatty acids. That's why they're called essential. And you can't make them. You've got to get them. And the best place to get them is meat. And when we started as human beings to really rely on meat, we developed a big brain. You know, our intestines changed and then our brain developed. And the animals, the male animals cannot reproduce. They don't even want to have sex without it. Not all of them, but the big ones, the big, you know, the lions and stuff like that. And you are a lion. You are the top of the food chain, or at least you used to be. But now we're genetically modified. Now we're fat. Now we're soft. So did you guys remember to click on the Cash App donation link and help out the Howard Dare channel? I hope so. If you can, I would really appreciate it, and I really need it. And I'm involved in a struggle for my life right now and my future. Okay, and you guys have some ideas to who I am and, you know, what the future, you know, that I want to create is. So help me out there. I would really appreciate it. And I think that it'll make a difference in the world at large, right? Okay. I'm going to be doing these podcasts regular, okay? And I'm going to be bringing you guys on just to, you know, talk, questions, statements, whatever. But I want to tell you one last thing. And if this doesn't scare you away from sugar, nothing will. You want to be impotent? You want to not be able to, you know, maintain an erection? Go ahead, pump yourself full of sugar. It'll eat away at the walls and a particular lining of your arteries and your veins. And this will inhibit, some of you know where I'm going, nitrous oxide. That's right, your diovasculation tool, okay? But no matter how much nitrous oxide the system pumps, the blood vessels, they just can't pick it up because too much sugar. Sugar dick. Limp sugar dick. You want it? You know how to get it. And it builds up. You know, so it won't, like, you know, like young man goes out and eats a candy bar, it's not going to do it. But a young man goes out and eats candy bars for the next 10 years, that'll do it. And he'll feel it. He'll feel it after, you know, a summer of candy bars. Or maybe it depends, right? Depends. As he gets older, he'll feel it faster. So that's my warning to you, okay? That doesn't scare you away from sugar and processed food, and excess carbohydrates. I don't know what will. So I'm going to do the podcast regular. I'll come back on here probably tomorrow, maybe in the afternoon, maybe in the evening. How are we doing here? 37 people going in an hour and 13 minutes. Yeah, I can go long, people. Beef is the best source of zonk. I think you meant zinc, right? That's your automatic spell corrector. It's like, no, I really did mean zinc. Sometimes it'll change the words and just completely change the whole meaning of the whole thing. Aha, Luke says, I was 210, now 192. Much better, much better. Yeah, and if you're, you know, up there at like, you know, 6'1", 6'2", that might even be, you know, just about where you want to be. But, you know, you also want that, you know, solid muscle going on there. This is what happens as we get old, is that the muscle just deteriorates. And that is sarcopenia. Yeah, well, something like that. Okay, I'm learning a new word. Don't eat bad food. Exactly. But what if the bad food is all there is and it's super tasty and it's super cheap and you need it to feed these billions of people? Well, then those billions of people are eating that cheap food if they want to live. But you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't need a sack of potatoes. If you have one steak, you'll be fine. You don't need the French fries with it. You know what I mean? You'll be fine. Trust me. Okay. Well, wait a minute. We gotta still go with the Buckaroo Bonsai comments. Yeah, great movie, you guys. Go ahead and watch that movie. He's quite the personality, quite the individual. So, it's interesting. Gee, I never really do end these podcasts, do I? Hyper individuality. We are creating it through our consumer society, but at the same time, we're stripping identity away. We're saying your identity gets to be associated as a hyper individual with purple and green and polka dotted hair, with various piercings, with your own pronoun. We want you to buy these things and identify with the brand. Our brand supports you, right? So there you go. The Japanese, for example, eat daylilies in soups and stuff. Yeah, but the Okinawans, who actually have a really long life, they eat more meat than the regular Japanese. And in a study done, none of the vegetarian Okinawans lived past 100 years old, but many of the meat-eating Okinawans did. So it's an interesting study. I could find it and pull it up for you. But I'm going to leave it at that for now, right? We've been going on a long time. Like I said, I'll do these regular. We'll bring you on. My Wi-Fi has become stable. I didn't do anything. They just repaired some stuff in my new area. Support the Howard Dare channel because I really need your support at this time. The state is, it's legal. It's criminal. And there's really not much I can do, but I do want to come on here and talk about MGTOW. I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff I talked about. We'll talk about a lot more stuff. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Please donate. Click the Cash App donation link. And join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.